on and off rain, it seems. But people actually use that umbrella drone during days like this. After all this silent time, after the trade show for the Autel Robotics Evo, they finally announced a release date. It says, join the evolution of flight, June 25th, 2018. That's actually pretty quick when you think about it. It makes me wonder why they decided to hold off for this long to actually have a release date and everything like that. Maybe there was a strategy to it. They did release a trailer for it too, and then like most people, I'm curious, what are the specs like? Is this basically a good competitor in terms of a drone? And it makes me wonder again, if I didn't have one, if I was just entering into it, would a person like me actually buy something like this? Because I know a average person just capturing videos and photos, kind of like myself, that's basically what made things like, I would say, the Mavic Pro popular, because it's portable, it's easy to use for the most part. So yeah, so let's see what this one's all about. So the main points the company tries to advertise on its drone here says superior image quality. Take 4K 60 FPS Ultra HD video and 12 MP photos mounted on a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer. They talk about the features of the app with the autonomous flight modes, as well as its ability to stay positioned with things like GPS and satellite signals. They say here, intuitive remote controller with a 3.3-inch OLED display and a one-touch action button that can control the drone up to 4.3 miles away. They also emphasize here, I guess, things like the customer service. It says backed by a 1-year warranty and 7-day-a-week customer support. I guess one of the big things with this is the fact that the controller actually has a screen with it, so it seems like attaching your phone is completely optional. I guess that's only if you want, say, a bigger screen or even higher quality. Whereas the ones like, for example, let's say like the ones I have right now, like the Mavic Pro, you actually have to put a smartphone on there to get the screen. You could technically fly with a remote controller, but I don't think you just want to do it just by itself without it. And just an extra thing I noticed about this picture with the controller, does anyone actually fly the drones like this, where you have 2 fingers pinched on the remotes, I guess, going like up and down? I always have 1 thumb on each controller. I can't see how, that must be really hard playing it like that, like it's some kind of arcade joystick. From what they posted anyways with the videos, the picture quality actually looks pretty decent. Although the thing that stood out in my mind immediately was this company obviously doesn't have as big of a marketing budget and stuff like that. You can just tell. But I guess as expected, as they are like a smaller company, I would assume, compared to like bigger companies like a DJI, for example. I found for myself when I was first trying to find a drone, it was basically a choice just from what I read from everybody, from what I saw. It was a choice between getting, say, really good customer service but an okay drone hardware wise, or getting a really awesome drone but with like really horrible support. So I guess in some ways that's why they're kind of emphasizing things like the customer support here as well, saying they're open 7 days a week and all that, because I guess they want to try to emphasize at least that point, that they have good customer service. I've never dealt with them before, so I wouldn't know, but it's kind of interesting that they kind of push that. But I guess it's necessary because, again, if they're really small, then you need all the advantage you can get. So I was trying to look at the technical specifications. Now obviously for someone like me, I'm actually interested in it, but I know even for me in the beginning it's more about how long can it fly, is it reliable, and does it take a good picture? That's the bottom line. And as well, can you bring it with you in various places? It says here, for example, the weight is 863 grams. So that's not too bad overall. I mean, the size, it folds up, so in terms of the portability factor, it looks like check if you're looking for a drone in that sense. For the picture modes, it sounds like it's pretty standard for the most part. Shoots basically 4K, 2.7K and all that stuff. It does save in H.265 as well for the codec. And for the Mbps, it does shoot at 100 from what I understand. And although it doesn't say specifically which mode it shoots in that. And why that's important is essentially, think of it as you could, for example, have the best camera in the world. You could say it's like 100 megapixels, but if it has like the worst sensor or something like that, like it's horrible in the dark, what's the point of having a super dark high resolution image, if that makes sense? For the flight time, it says it can fly for up to 30 minutes. So that's a good step up basically. Because for things like the Mavic Pro, like the one I have, they advertise 27 minutes, although usually you have to land it and stop way before. So I guess realistically you can probably fly this thing more true to like maybe 25 minutes, like in a true time, unless you really want to just kill the battery dead. I don't know why you would do that. The time for the controller is interesting though. It says max operating time, 3 hours. That controller can last for 3 hours? That's quite a significant amount of time considering it has that screen and stuff built in, isn't it? Like even for the controller for my drone doesn't have like an OLED screen, and that can last for like what, maybe an hour to an hour and a half probably tops. So that's kind of weird. If it says 3 hours, that's quite a significant amount of time. One important detail I couldn't find on the site though was the sensor size. How big is the sensor on this thing? Because I know before people were saying it has like a 1-inch sensor, and basically because of that they were saying this is going to be the new best portable drone there is, but there was no mention of it anywhere here, unless I missed something or they just decided to leave it out for whatever reason. And price-wise, it seems like this thing comes at $9.99 US, so a pretty standard price I guess for a drone like this compared to the other things that are out in the market right now anyways. So I guess the main question is, would you buy this drone based on what you read versus what's available with the competition? With what's around its price range bracket, do you think it offers better or worse features? I guess based on this so far, the main advantages are the fact that the controller has a screen on it, and the flight time is actually longer than the other ones within the same price range bracket, well, what you would consider it as its direct quote competition. Honestly, for me, there was actually a really high chance I would have got this over the Mavic Pro actually if it first came out. But that's the thing to keep in mind too. That's for me saying if it came out kind of at the same time it did back then. Whereas now the Mavic's been well over what, like a year now? So maybe you wonder, is it a little too late for what they release? I think that's the big question. Makes me wonder how the market would react to it too. Funny how me being up there didn't startle them, but that guy walking really loud did. Makes you wonder why they don't go under the tree instead. Alright, see you guys later.